If you're like me and you really love Zelda and you're really hyped for Breath of the Wild, listen up. In this video, I'll be talking about my thoughts on the timeline placement of Breath of the Wild, and just a few, theories in general. Hello everybody, my name is Skullkid and welcome back to another The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild discussion video. Now, I don't know if you can notice, but I'm actually pretty sick today, and I'm losing my voice, so I hope that this video is gonna go well, but the reason why I absolutely wanted to record this today is because I thought that from now on until the game's release, every Friday we could have a Legend of Zelda discussion video until the game's release. Because the game releases on a Friday, we'll just have a new discussion video every Friday. So anyways, let's get to it. So yes, there are many theories about the timeline placement for this game. Nintendo hasn't really said anything official yet, and so today I thought we could kind of theorize about where this could be. So there's definitely multiple places where I think that the timeline could be located for Breath of the Wild. So one of the places, this is all speculation, by the way, and it's just all in good fun, but so one of the places I thought that the game would make the most sense being is in the Downfall timeline. So essentially the timeline where the hero is defeated after Ocarina of Time. In the Downfall timeline, Ganon defeats Link in Ocarina of Time, and then essentially Ganon defeats Link. The world is ruled by Ganon, at least for a short while. But the place where I think that Breath of the Wild could definitely be is possibly in between, somewhere after Link's Awakening, but before the Adventures of Link, or Zelda 2, and it's not clear, if the original Zelda would come first or after Breath of the Wild, but the reason why I think it's pretty plausible to put the game in this, section of the timeline is because, Aonuma hinted that there have been many battles with Ganon in the past from when Breath of the Wild takes place. So you see, the reason why I place it in front of Zelda 2 is because in Zelda 2 Ganon is dead and his minions are trying to revive him. But so I think it's a good placement in Breath of the Wild. It seems pretty clear that, Ganon has ruled the world. The world is destroyed, and he is essentially contained in the castle as Calamity Ganon. And we're not sure exactly if he's breaking free, but that doesn't really matter for this theory. It's really just the fact that it fits well with this, and it's not clear if there's some time travel type stuff in Breath of the Wild. There's definitely a bunch of speculation about that, and that could definitely kind of affect it. But another place where I thought that the game could be located in the timeline was placed before Skyward Sword, so essentially the first game in the series, but this kind of directly contradicts what Aonuma said. I don't think this is really plausible in the official timeline, but just for the sake of argument, I thought it would be interesting. So this, can't really work out, but this is kind of a theory I'd thought about before I heard about what Aonuma said, except I think it's interesting, so I thought I'd share it anyways. So essentially, in Skyward Sword, you're in Skyloft, which is a floating island where everyone lives happily, and essentially it's the goddess that's technically in charge of that island. So in Breath of the Wild, we know that the world has been essentially destroyed, and so just before we continue with this, it's pretty clear there's a bunch of flaws in what I'm about to say. So in Breath of the Wild, the world is essentially destroyed and stuff. So instead of having that Skyloft is the place where Link and Zelda and everyone starts off and then go down to the main land, I would theorize that Breath of the Wild took place on the main Hyrule fields, or whatever you could say they are, and then everything's peaceful at the beginning, and then here comes Calamity Ganon, and the Sheikah tried to defeat him with their armies of guardians and their divine beasts, and that fails. It's turned against them. The world gets destroyed. Calamity Ganon is ruling, and then at the last second the goddess comes to save them. But she can't save the world because the world is just completely destroyed, and so some humans essentially get sent up to Skyloft, where they can live in safety. And then years later, Link, or probably not the same Link, because, you know, it's never really necessarily the same character, but, like, so Link comes back, he's in Skyloft, and the fates of, the Black Tornado and all that weird stuff happening in Skyward Sword just ends up, like, making them go back to the main ground. So I don't think this is where the game would be placed, but I thought it was interesting, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys. But essentially, the game could pretty much be at the end, I suppose, of any of the three timelines, whether it's the child era, the adult era, or just the timeline where the hero's defeated. It's all interesting. And so anyways, guys, I really want to see your opinions on this, so don't hesitate to comment them down below. Start a nice little discussion about that. Don't take really any of the stuff I said really seriously, but if I was to, like, have something plausible of this, it would be the Downfall timeline, placed before Zelda 2, but kind of towards the end of that timeline. And I've heard other people on the interwebs talk about it too, so I think that could be a plausible place, but as I said, it could really be at the end of any of the three timelines, I suppose. So, yeah, with that said, comment down below if you have any thoughts on this and the timeline placement, and if you have any ideas for next week's Zelda discussion video, because I already have a few ideas, but if you have a good idea, please share them down in the comments below. And in case you're not aware, don't forget, guys, I am playing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild in March on the channel. I'll try to do a full Let's Play, and we'll have some live streams sometime soon, and stay tuned for more info. And anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, it really helps me out. And don't forget to share this video with all those nice Zelda fans out there. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to SkullKid Gaming for more on The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and all things gaming right here on SkullKid Gaming. Have a great day, everybody, and I hope to see you in the next video.